Alrighty people, as usual the wind started up again. Nothing until I start up a camera. These two coils here have come off the front fence. Now, the original fence here was where the stones were, and I ripped out a few wooden posts and we put in the new fence. But that obviously was a heap of crap, and my uncle went and built another fence in front of it all. Still see the post standing there, and that's the one that I've just ripped out there. They'll come in handy for, there's a few little trees here and there. You might be able to see the one there. Peppercorn trees and that, and the sheep are tearing the bejesus out of the damn things, even though they are potentially shade for the sheep in future. So I'm going to try and fence those off for that crappy second-hand wire, and probably some of these old second-hand posts as well. These posts are actually pretty damn good, to be honest. Reasonable good quality still. Haven't really turned to shit yet. Still got to get rid of this one here too. See, that goes right offline there, and this is the one here. And I don't know how my uncle didn't end up declaring a bloody mutiny or something. But well, the building of the road, they ended up bulldozing a whole shitload of rocks over the top of the existing fence, and this is the original fence line, and there is actually a fence underneath rocks underneath where this line is here. So my uncle re-fenced the place further back, basically where the rocks stopped. So what a bloody grand thing to do. You know, somebody's got a legitimate fence they put in, and you decided as your roadworks building and all your rocks left behind, you should spread it out and you just go straight over the top of someone's fence with your bulldozer. What the hell are you got local governments for? Like, well, you know, what a bullshit act. I wouldn't be surprised if performance over that one. I wouldn't blame them either, because if they'd done that to this fence, freaking hell, I would call the shit's full. But anyways, that's another one that doesn't go far. Just scoping out those boxes a bit there. Almost. So, yeah, I'm not going to tear that out, but in getting these box stones here out, that's going to destroy some of that fence. So we're just going to clip it on the side of the box. Sort of, remove what's left, and there'll probably be wire. Well, there will be wire stuck in the box thorns that'll be taken as we tow the box thorns out. And I'm going to dump those box thorns not too far away from where they are now, just a few metres ahead, and burn those as well. And there's a handful of others I've still got to tow into. But yeah, anyway, it's quickly becoming the end of fence demolishing here. Well, this is a bit of a bummer. I had a bit of wire down there which is half stuck under the grass, and I was trying to snip this piece of wire when it went under a rock, and I was sure I had the wire in the jaws, and I was squeezing like hell and the wire wasn't going to go, and then it went clunk and I thought, oh, I've gone through. I didn't go through. I snapped the flaming jaw. And years ago, at least 10 years ago, probably 12 years ago, I had a whole stack of money and went out and bought a heap of tools. And I got a lot of the Chinese cheapos, you know, probably 10 years ago. And a lot of those tools are still sitting in those toolboxes, untouched, unused. But I pulled these ones out when I found them, and I've been using these from day one with all the fences. Demolished a whole heap of fences, put up a new one, demolished more, and here I am probably only half an hour off, you know, finishing off the old fences, and she gave way, but you know, I've worn it out to the point that there's no flipping paint on the handles and stuff, so it's pretty good for $5. Yeah, I got a lot of length out of it, which is unfortunate, because, yeah, such a good tool, but anyway, I can continue on with a set of bolt cutters that I bought around the same time that I got barely any use, that are sitting in the car, and finish what I have to do. But anyway, that was a bit of a shame because these were great, the way they were leveraged and all that, and it's sort of almost like miniature bolt cutters they were, but they are no longer. I got more here, still trundling on. I done a whole load. My father came over and we had a old water cartage tank that I was sitting on the back of a green truck for ages, and I cut either end out of it so it could be easily flattened or whatever, and we slid it onto this one, reversed it up to the truck, just slipped it off the truck, dropped it in, by hell did it drop in, and had it sitting inside here, and then I got a lot of rolls that I had and stuffed them inside the middle of it, and I took that in the other day. That was drove around the paddock with the back of this on, with the tank on it, and then just filled it up with rolls already out in the paddock that I'd recently rolled up. And I'll tell you what, we filled this thing in about 15 minutes, and then I went and dropped that off. But now I'm refilling it again with a lot of old wire that's come from over there, and the sheet metal stack, which is quickly going down. There's a few that are under the box thorns that I've been grabbing around the other side of the house now where the kids are. But yeah, we are quickly progressing along, and we've got rid of most of the little gangles and tangles. It's just the last few left there. And there's the old mattress I pulled out from under the box thorns the other day. I never even knew it was out there, even though I looked under a lot of that stuff, and bingo. So I'm going to throw that one in as well. Yeah, it's just one of these never-ending things. I'm still pulling out brackets and bits of wire, and got another bit of cast iron bracket today. It just never ends. Hopefully we'll get all this lot here in, and then there should be at least one more load of large coils of wire, maybe a bit more, quite possibly a bit more than that, and then just keep picking up bits and pieces. I may actually, if I can't get all the wire in, I may keep one or two of the larger coils to drop in after winter, because there's going to be a whole stack of lemon sheets and rubbish that's all underneath, and bits of wire that are tangled in box thorns, and I'm going to have a whole nother heap then. But I don't really want to just drive all the way in with this, because your fuel consumption goes through the roof with this thing, and it more than doubles with this thing. So I don't really want to go in with just one lousy roll of wire in the back of this. So I've got an idea that I'm going to throw it in on the back of a truck or something like that, so it doesn't get grass growing through it. And then, you know, if it doesn't fit in the next load after this one, and then deal with it in the winter. Yeah. Have a look at this monster. Don't know if I'm going to be in his way here or piss anyone off. Didn't exactly want to get caught filming the bikie there, but this is a Hitachi. This is the sort of shit that we used to build the radiators for, air radiators, this exact sort of equipment. She's got a few ton worth there. I'm pretty sure I've seen this around here a while ago. It might be a bit of a lemon, this one. Alrighty. Well, every time a new government gets in, I'm talking federal government, they like to change the welfare system. They always talk about toughening up the welfare system, and there's a lot of people who will be on disability pensions, but it's believed that they can work in some capacity, and those people always get a flaming run up the pants over that one, and they always threaten to kick those people off, and quite often they do, and then something changes and they get back on to a disability pension again later. Now, what they done first of all is there was an office that used to just deal with child support and child custody and custody battles and a lot of that sort of crap. And they went and got that office and basically put them in charge of students, disabled and unemployed as well. And that's what they've done, I don't know, about a year or two back, some probably a year back. Anyway, that was trying to basically minimise the number of offices, compact it all. And what they've gone and hinted now is they want to change it again. And what they have is, it's a bit different from the American system, where if you fall into this eligibility, then you can get this extra payment because of, the eligibility you get because of your circumstances. Like, I gather that, if you've a single mum, but you got two kids under the age of 5, you get one particular thing that you'd be ineligible for if your kids are over the age of 5. And, if it's all sort of varied and based on also the amount of kids you got, which it sort of is here as well. But it's a thing where you can get, 5 different lots of payments for each 5 different programs you're eligible for. It doesn't work that way here. What are your circumstances? And you fit into one of a whole stack of different boxes. I only thought there was about 4 different boxes, 5 different boxes that you could fit into. It turns out there's 20 different boxes that you can fit into and different kinds of pensions. And you will only be eligible for one of those kinds, one or the other or a different one, not multiple ones. And the federal government has said that the system is too complicated. Yes, I agree. It is bloody shitstorm of computers, and the systems are ridiculous. It's on a pretty regular basis that the computer systems crash back at the headquarters in the country's capital or whatever. When you go in there and get something sorted out at a job agency or the actual welfare office, they will change something, or they'll say, yes, you've done your required job searches or whatever, and then they'll turn around and say, okay, that's a go, bang, you've done it. But then they've got to cross-check 3 different databases to see through if it went on this line and that line and that line, and check all those 3 different databases. See, it's a software system that actually can be changed on the move, more or less. It's basically, as they change a law or change an idea, they'll pass a law one day and 2 days later the software will be different to suit that law. But in that, the software, because it's changed so often, is drowned in bugs and problems, and then too many people on the system at once will cause it to crash, and it just turns into an absolute shitstorm. And as I've said, there's like 3 different sections of the system, and it's just a circus. So they've said it's complicated, but they've said primarily that it's complicated purely because there's 20 different kind of pensions, and they're going to knock it back to 5 different kind of pensions, which is all I thought there was. But in all of that, they're going to change the system and streamline it and make it dramatically simpler. And this is probably going to happen within the next month or 2. So I'll see where I end up in all of that. Quite honestly, around here, we're moving very quickly. It all depends on whether my father's ready to do certain things as well, but I've got to finish up cleaning up a bit of wire and then snip a whole heap of very small dead box thorns that are just something that you can stand on and get stabbed in the foot. So I've got to clip all those out and throw them into a bonfire heap. Then we've got to, with him, I've got to tow a few out with the tractor and then go and pick up all the leftover posts, hardwood posts that were all the original ones from when we replaced the fence. They're all still down there. We haven't managed to get the motorbike down there to do it. He's a bit sick and apparently got gout or something at the moment, so until he's fine, then he doesn't really want to do any hard yakka or any, stuff like that. So really speaking, I've only got a couple of weeks worth of stuff to do before I start to run out of stuff, and then she'll make very big endeavours to try and get into work again from there, because I would have run out of stuff to do here anyway. But yeah, we'll see how it all pans out and whatnot, and yeah. Ooh, the glass there. Got a couple of these little babies here. 10 troy ounce cast silver bars. They don't have a serial number, even though they've got the thing for it, by some mob I don't quite know. And there's another one there still sitting underneath the plastic. Yeah. Price dropped a little bit. Not a great deal, but it's worked out about, well, it was less than $500 for the two of these anyway. And yeah, so I went and got them because I expected it all to go up with all this grease bailout ultimatum and all that, and honestly it's likely that silver's going to go up quite a bit. It's one of these things, if you were going to buy in, you probably should have already done it, because as the Greek circus unravels to shit or whatever it's going to unravel to, this stuff will just keep going higher and higher. But dipped down just for a little bit, and I thought I should get a little bit more.